welcome back to the Faith and Culture Show. I'm Catherine Camp, and this is where we educate ourselves in order to have conversations with others in our culture, conversations that count, and conversations that will have an eternal perspective. I have a returning guest today, and you've met him before, Chance Gibson with Simply Clean Foods. Let me bring him on. Hey, Chance.
Blessings, Catherine. How are you this evening?
I am well, thank you. We are going to talk a little bit about preparedness. Last time we got together, we spoke about listening to the Holy Spirit and the Holy Spirit's promptings. And I know that you did not embark on the Simply Clean Foods journey just because you felt like it. Obviously, this was something that God had in mind and wanted you to do for a purpose, for kingdom purposes. So, do you want to talk about that today?
Sure.
Okay.
It is interesting, and I shared part of our testimony on the last show.
Mm-hmm.
When you surrender to the Father, you let Him guide you, not just in your personal life, but in your business life as well. It's amazing when you surrender means hands up. I give it all to the Father. It's amazing the journey that He takes you on, and I give all of the praise to the Father. I've been so blessed to be able to have God show us a path towards this mission to prepare the remnant. Prepare not just physically, that's a big part of it, but spiritually as well. And so I take this purpose and mission very seriously. I find that now, Catherine, more than ever, the remnant and the other souls out there that are on the fence need guidance more than ever.
Mm.
So, our company, Simply Clean Foods, I tease, but it's true. Our CEO of the company is Jesus Christ. We let him lead in all of our major decisions in the company, and we go in prayer on a regular basis for anything that we're trying to accomplish. However, we're seeing God lead us into some interesting conversations, both in our weekly Bible study as well as our customers calling in for prayer and fellowship. There's a sense, we talked about it last show, there's a sense of fear that's prevalent
Yeah.
among the remnant, and it needs to be taken pretty seriously.
Yeah.
Folks are fearful in this country of what their future truly looks like. Folks that never were really fearful before are now doubting some of the decisions that they've made. Maybe it's the home that they've purchased or that expensive car that they're financing or that job that they took. They're rethinking everything, and it's because they don't feel comfortable with our. I'm not going to get into politics, but with this particular political environment that we're in, as well
Mm.
as this highly inflationary state.
Yeah.
Catherine, I follow a few people that I respect and I trust that have been in the businesses that they're in for over 25 years. One of those is called Sachs Realty, SACHS Realty, and they're out of Maryland. And, Mr. Sachs is a believer to the point he's also a broker to the point where he'll say things on air that are counterintuitive to his own business, right? It would push customers away. And that I respect. He's telling the truth and he brings on great minds in both from the banking side and the economic side. I guess all that to say this, we're coming into the end of 2024. It looks like a very high inflationary state to the point where we could see items that we purchase, like fuel and groceries and things like that, even utilities and light and insurance, right, on your home, a double from last
Mm,
year.
yeah,
Now, these aren't the numbers that this administration is touting, right? These numbers they're touting this their inflationary rate is it's probably three times the numbers that they're talking about. On top
yeah,
of that, I follow some guys that are they're charters. They chart everything, and it's also the unemployment rate. They're telling us that the unemployment rate is pretty low, but it's not. It's not across every state, every age. Anywhere from 16 to 65, unemployment is at levels they haven't seen since 2008. That's something to worry about. Not to be fearful, because we know fear comes from Satan, but to be
right.
concerned about. Now, what I do know and what I practice every day is food. This is the business that we're in. We try to purchase 6 months to a year in advance. So when I reach out to my ingredient suppliers and they give me the outlook, please listen to me when I tell you this, your listeners, look for food prices in 2025 to be an additional 40% higher because
Wow.
that's what we're looking at. That's what we're looking at. So we buy in volume in bulk, right? We buy by the pallet or the truckload.
Mm-hmm.
So when our suppliers can give us a 6 month outlook, I think I need to pass that on to you and your viewers because this is very serious. I
It is
don't
serious.
want it to be depressing here, but it's
Mm-hmm.
something that your listeners and yourself, your families out there that are trying to prepare for things to come should know about. Go ahead, go right ahead, Captain. I'm sorry.
Okay, no, it's okay. What I was going to say, I'm seeing massive jumps in just, I buy organic when I can, especially if I'm going to be preparing it at home because I know if we go out, we're not going to be getting organic. Uh, and I have seen the price of of 1 pound of organic, supposedly beef, ground beef, jump from maybe $6 a pound to 10 right now at the grocery store.
Right.
And my husband has been getting upset with me over the last 6 months for every time I see a sale, I get it, I get it, I get it, and there's no more room. and and I told him the other day, well, guess what? It's now 10.99 a pound.
Yep.
So and I will say this to back up what you're saying, Chance, is that there is more food spoiling at the grocery store than I've ever seen in my entire adult life. And why is this? Because people cannot afford it anymore. So a
Correct.
lot of food is spoiling, and I'm seeing the stores trying to pass off um, different types like Alfredo sauce from a big manufacturer that has been expired for over a month. And I'm talking about a Kroger grocery store. When they mark things down, when it's a day or two before, they're trying to pass things off and hope that people don't notice that it expired a month ago. So there is something underfoot. Obviously, we're in trouble and everything's being suppressed. Uh, so, yes, I just want to back up what you're saying for others who maybe haven't noticed. If you don't do grocery shopping, then you're not going to see what's happening and the shelves and the rotten fruit, the things that we never saw in America. We don't see that often. Rotten meat,
Yeah.
things that are going bad. So,
Yeah. So about a year ago, and this is to the point that you were making, about a year ago, some lab came out with a product called Appeal.
Oh,
It's a
yeah.
coating that they're putting on your produce so that it stays shelf stable for an additional up to 14 days past what it would normally. So think of your apples and your peaches and bananas and strawberries and things like that in your store. So they're coating this with this appeal, and the FDA has deemed it safe. Isn't it interesting, Catherine, that this particular chemical is banned in other countries?
Hmm.
Just like genetically modified fruits and vegetables, they are banned in some, like our corn. Did you know that our GMO corn is banned in China? China, of all places, right,
Hmm.
has had a problem with lead, right? They do not allow our corn in their country. This should tell you something.
I had no idea.
There's so much corruption at the top of the food chain, per se.
Hmm.
This allows these frankenfoods, that's what we call them, to be introduced into the marketplace that we're feeding our children. It's just, I'm going to say it's sick.
Yeah.
It's sick. It's
We have,
disgusting what
it is
what they're doing.
disgusting. I have a story about wheat and all of the people with gluten intolerance now. And it causes leaky gut, inflammation. And I, as a college professor at a Bible college, my students would go every year in the spring to Israel. And over there, they would eat the bread, the croissants, and would not get sick. It's here because of the what they spray the wheat with. But I believe it's glyphosate. I'm not. I know that they spray that, but that there might be another chemical that's being sprayed on our wheat for whatever reason. So yes, we there's where it's a mess, and everybody is getting sicker because of it.
Agreed. And I hadn't planned on having that conversation, but it needs to be
Me
had.
either.
Um,
Yeah.
the bread, that white bread that you see in your local grocery store, please understand that's not what wheat is. I mean, that's so far from wheat, what we call hard red wheat, hard white wheat. That's so far from the original wheat. It's so highly processed. The only reason they're able to even get that bread to be as white as it is through chemicals. Folks, this is not good for you. It's not. Isn't it interesting? We're very fortunate here in Texas to have a local market, a farm, pretty much their farm to market. Um, when I drink dairy now at my age, homogenized and pasteurized, it gives me an upset stomach, right? But when I drink raw milk from this farm, I have no issues
Hmm.
whatsoever. It's the same thing with wheat and grains. When you use products that are intended the way God intended them to be, you're going to be fine. But when you start poisoning the food with all of these chemicals, and guys, it's about the bottom line. I'm just going to say this: the big food companies, they don't care about us. They really
Yeah.
don't. We're worthless eaters, right? But
Yeah.
it makes their stockholders happy.
Mm.
You have to take charge of your own nutritional lifestyle. Like Catherine, try to eat organic, at the minimum, non GMO. That's why we do what we do. We owned a preparedness company back in 2012, and we offered all types of camping equipment, fishing equipment, self defense weapons, and some food. And I had conversations with my wife and people that were in our circle, and we're like, I don't even like the food that we have available to offer. So I prayed about it, and the Lord just broke down the barriers, and now we're able to offer food that is clean and free of all chemicals, meaning preservatives, even. So we're a single ingredient. 95% of our food, it's single ingredient. This is the way it was intended to be. No spices. We don't salt your food. We don't add anything because that should be up to you and not up to us, right?
Mm.
So we're going to give you the cleanest basic ingredients, fruits and vegetables and staples and everything that we have to offer, and let you decide how you want to use those in your regular recipes, dinners, lunches, etc. Right? Even our egg powders, pasture raised eggs, no antibiotics. Or chicken, pasture raised chicken, no antibiotics. Is it cheap? No, it's not cheap. But are you going to have, you're going to be able to eat clean chicken breast, put that into your body, give that, be able to feed that to your family? Super, super important, right? So check us out, simplycleanfoods.net. I still have from the conference that you did and I did together, here the Watchmen. I think
Mhm.
there's 12 more of the 1 year grand assortment packs at 19.95. That's $1,000 off. There's 12 more available for folks, so they'll be there until they're not. Okay.
Okay.
Um, I'm a little tired after roasting coffee for the past couple days, being away from home, but I do want to share something with you and your listeners.
Yes.
So we're going to be roasting 4 days a week: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We take Friday and Saturday off for the Sabbath. But I want you guys to see this. I lived in Hawaii for quite a while, 4 years. And what I'm showing you is a 50-50 Kona blend. I wish this podcast had a smell meter so that you could smell this coffee. Guys, this is the smoothest coffee. If you, oh, I'll show you the bean too from this current roast today. If you like coffee, like I know I'm probably considered a coffee snob, but I can't see if you can see that. There we go. This is the Kona coffee bean from high elevations in Kona, Hawaii. This grows in volcanic soil, so it pulls, the flavor comes from the soil. The flavor comes from fertile earth, right? Um, and it is so smooth. I can promise you this. We have this in an 8 ounce bag, already ground if you'd like. If you'd like whole beans, we can do that for you as well. But I can promise you this: once you try this coffee, if you're a coffee drinker, you'll find it hard to go back to anything else. This is so amazing, so wonderful. God put this on our heart to take more control over our coffee. So we're roasting three different roasts right now. We've got our Honduras organic, we've got the Kona blend organic 50-50, and then yesterday, Catherine, I did a Sumatra, which is a very dark, and it's what they call an espresso roast. So if you've ever been to Italy, have you been to Italy?
Yes, but I'm not a coffee drinker. But
Okay, well,
my family is. My husband and one of my
I
children.
remember that. I
Visit
remember that.
them. Yeah.
I remember you saying that. So in Italy and France and other, even Israel, so other countries, when they serve espresso, it's in a tiny little cup, right?
Yes.
It's like two
Yes.
ounces. And unlike what they do here with some of these brand names that you do the drive through, um, this particular coffee is espresso is so amazing and so powerful in flavor. You just have to be careful not to drink too much of it, or you'll be running around like crazy, running around, getting the cramps. So yeah, so we're really excited about that. What we're able to offer, I think, is kind of cool. Oh, you have a phone call?
I do. I'm so sorry about that. I'm not at my regular studio.
No, it's okay. I was just going to say this. So we're roasting again. It is possible for you guys to order coffee from us that we roasted the same day that you ordered it. I mean, I'm going to convert you, Catherine, into a coffee drinker before this is over
Hey, I
because it
love the
is
way it smells. I do.
so, so good. It's so
First
good
step.
and clean. By the way, all of our coffees are tested before we even roast our coffee. Um, our vendors, where we get, they call them green beans. What we do is we grind those green beans and then we add them to a liquid and we test those for any heavy metals. We don't find in South America we have a lot of those issues, or in Hawaii. It's mostly here, unfortunately, in the U.S. that you're getting aluminum in your food into the groundwater, into the soil,
Yeah.
unfortunately, and arsenic and cadmium. It's not good. Not good. So
Yeah.
most of our foods come from Central and South America, and coffees as well, and as well as Hawaii. So I just wanted to share that with you because I'm so excited about this roasting. It's just so much fun, and I get to play around with it. And I did a Costa Rican today coffee, and I blended that with another coffee from Mexico. We did a Brazil roast. Oh, just wonderful. So I'm excited to share that with you guys, and it's affordable, right? This Kona blend, the Kona coffee from Hawaii, is $35 a pound because we're doing a blend, a 50-50 blend, and we're buying it in bulk. Guys, this is $12.95 for an 8-ounce pouch of coffee in a special bag called Mylar. You can see there's the valve on the back, so it releases all the CO2. This coffee will store in your pantry or climate controlled area in your home for up to 3 years. You can't get that with regular coffee containers. So,
That's
that
true.
being said, um, I don't mean to add to the worry that we're sensing out there,
Mhm.
but I will say this. I'm about to teach you guys a few little things that you can do to protect your home in case things do get, well, start now. Okay. Number one, when the bad guy is surveying your community, he's looking for weaknesses, right? He's driving by, or he might park in front of your house. He's looking for garage doors. He's looking for windows. He's looking for anything that he can get in fast and get out, right? The bad guy doesn't want to see a homeowner, so they'll survey a neighborhood. They'll notice how many newspapers, or they'll notice if the mail is piling up, things like that. So, what I want you to do, first thing, two things right off the bat. Whether you have a dog or you don't have a dog, it doesn't matter. Get a beware of dog sign, put it in the window facing the street so that if the bad guy comes by your house and he looks at your home and he sees that sign, like, I don't want any trouble, he's going to go on down the street and find another home. Number two, whether you have a surveillance system or you don't have a surveillance system, you can order or go to your hardware store, any of the big box hardware stores like Home Depot or on Amazon, and you can buy uh, signs that say "Smile, you're on camera," or surveillance system, or
Yeah.
anything like that. And you can put those right in your front yard. Again, the thief wants an easy target. He doesn't want a hard target. So don't be an easy target.
Hey, thanks for watching the Faith and Culture Show. If you'd like to continue this particular episode, please go to the Rumble link below or click on the QR code and join me on the free speech platform over there. Look for the name of the episode and start about the 10-minute mark. I hope to see you there because it's a good one.